Well, I'm joined at this stage by Nalin Kohli. He joins me, the BJP spokesperson, on the phone line. I'm also joined by my other panelists. Sanjay Jha of the Congress Party joins me. Asif Bhamla, the General Secretary of the NCP as well. Nalin, let me come to you first. Nalin, firstly, can you hear me, Nalin?
Yes, I can.
Okay, Nalin, I'm just curious to know, Nalin, why the BJP continues to support Vasundhara Raje when there are clear examples of a quid pro quo which exists between her and Lalit Modi.
I have first two comments on what you raised early in the program. I would not prefer using the word price for an opinion. An opinion is a legal document. In the sense it's a legal opinion. It comes with a professional fees as lawyers are entitled to take. Price almost makes it seem mercenary and motivated, which may not be the correct way of looking at it. And anyone, that is Mr. Modi, Lalit Modi, is entitled to take an opinion, as hundreds and thousands of people take it on a day-to-day basis from lawyers.
So do you endorse the opinion made by these lawyers?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not here as a spokesperson for Mr. Lalit Modi, nor do we intend to be in any way. He has to fight his legal battles himself. And he's in his rights, as any other person who's accused, to hire lawyers, former judges who may be lawyers, seek their opinion, or have them to fight their case. So that legal rights are not going to be taken away.
Okay, so how do you continue to defend her now?
Well, let's go one by one. I think if there is anything which is incorrect in law, that the courts will take place, and that's what it is. They can't be fought out in studios. I find it in any case interesting that, all of this is coming into the studios, and what should be in the courts by Mr. Modi and his team also, they probably are preferring to release it into the media and try to build probably a case for themselves. That they are,
no, but they are building a case for themselves. It is unfortunate that this is all happening in the form of leaks. But my question is specific. You have today, the BJP believes, a legal basis on the way on which Vasundhara Raje can be defended. The BJP is today saying that yes, she did sign that document in favor of Lalit Modi, but she never testified for him in a court of law, and therefore she can be legally defended. But there is a larger moral and ethical issue over here. Should a person in public life support somebody who is wanted by the Enforcement Directorate back in India?
Well, let's go one by one. First of all is, in the case of Ms. Vasundhara Raje Scindia, and we've been discussing it on your channel also on a number of debates, she has not given an affidavit in the capacity as the leader of opposition.
What difference does that make?
In a personal, well, that's the language of the affidavit.
That doesn't mean that she's not been in public life, Nalin.
No, 1 minute, hold on. And everyone who's in public life or not in public life is entitled to have a personal life. I don't think you can take that away just because somebody feels they can ask questions of anyone.
Okay.
So that Ms. Vasundhara
so I'm very sorry to interrupt you once again. I'll give you your time to have your say. Are you trying to tell me that it is okay for someone, even if they act in their personal capacity, to actually vouch for a person who is wanted by courts, by the legal system in India, and sign on a document and say that, look, please keep my testimony a secret? That's okay for any political leader of the BJP, irrespective of the position they hold?
Not at all. In fact,
well, that's what she's done.
No, not at all. I think you have arrived at an incorrect conclusion. Because let's look even in this case. Where was Mr. Lalit Modi required by a court of law? You just said that. I don't recall any court.
No, the Enforcement Directorate. Enforcement Directorate. Not by a court of law, by the Enforcement Directorate, by the ED. Yes.
Let's go with the Enforcement Directorate.
Yes.
As far as one is looking at it, there is no provision to arrest him, custodial interrogation. So therefore, the point is that Mr. Modi is responsible to appear before the Enforcement Directorate when the Finance Minister, Mr. Arun Jaitley, is saying that these are quasi-judicial processes that are on. No one, including Ms. Vasundhara Raje Scindia, has in any way contributed to diluting these cases. Nowhere have they prevented Mr. or tried to build
but she supported him.
That prevents him from coming in. So I don't understand. Now let's go even to the affidavit itself. I'm pointing out merely the first allegation that came out, unsubstantiated by the political opponents of the BJP, was she gave it in her capacity as the leader of opposition. That is blatantly incorrect.
But what difference does that make? Nalin, what difference does that make? Does the signature of Vasundhara Raje not count for something? It's a signature.
It makes a huge difference because, there the presumption is coming that anyone who holds any kind of office, which may be bureaucratic, which may be judicial...
But was she not a member of the BJP when she signed this document? Was she not a member of the BJP when she signed this document?
Vishnu, may I please finish my point? Just then ask me a counter question, because on a phone line it's difficult to keep track of everything. So the second point I was making on the affidavit itself is, did she go and testify? She has not testified. So is there an end result to what she has done? No, it hasn't been done. So on what basis is a media trial to be taking place on the basis of the Congress raising questions of propriety when they have never done anything with propriety through every term that we have seen?
Okay,
So
let me ask
everything
Sanjay
has
Jha
be
to come
seen
in on this.
context.
Sanjay Jha, Nalin suggesting that the issue of propriety should be the last thing that the UPA or the Congress in this case should actually be raising. And in fact, what he says is borne out by these opinions of these judges. I'll read you various parts of what these judges have said. It is a damning indictment of how the passport office, for example, worked when the when the UPA was in power.
Vishnu, firstly, I think that BJP spokespeople are making the best legal counsel that Lalit Modi could have ever hoped for. So I think he's a very fortunate man. Point number two, these are legal opinion, and I think we need to, respect the judges, the ex-judges who gave their legal opinion. But I can tell you this for a fact, that what matters in matters of criminal investigation or financial fraud is a court verdict. And I'll tell you, until the individual High Court judge, I think it was Justice Shakhtar who said that Lalit Modi was willfully dodging summons. That's the reason why it had upheld the revocation of Lalit Modi's passport. To my mind, and Vishnu, that is of greater import than what a legal opinion, no matter what luminaries they may be, that does not hold water. Because, both sides and multiple sides obtain legal opinions. All of them have people with some degree of qualification and weightage who give it. So I don't think that is really a point of merit. The second point is, and this is the fundamental point, that where Vasundhara Raje's case is concerned, since we are talking about her, when you look at the financial transaction where today we have released that she has a stake in the same venture where Lalit Modi's money finally landed in a Dushyant Singh company, the larger issue is one, that she has a stake, which means there's a clear financial quid pro quo of sorts, even though the BJP is apparently saying
what's
it is
wrong
a gift
with
to
her
her,
having a
it
stake.
does not matter.
Is there any accusation of her having false funds? Right? The accusation, if any, points to raises question marks on the funds that Lalit Modi has.
Yeah, I will answer that. There are two aspects to it. One, Vishnu, is the standard operating procedure for people to fund companies by giving it some ridiculous valuation. As you know, it has happened in this case of 96,000 rupees for a company whose share, what is the basis for that valuation? That's a basic question anybody will ask. Does it have a projected revenue stream of a very huge number that justifies this kind of appreciation? If there is none, then it is a very obvious case of some kind of a payback happening. Now, whether you call it a kickback, illegal gratification, that let the investigating authorities prove, provided the great Bharatiya Janata Party allows it. The second and the more critical point is the fact that what is the source of the money that has landed in Dushyant Singh's books, which are now owned by also the current Chief Minister of Rajasthan. Now, the allegations in the Enforcement Directorate that they are actually investigating indicate that this came from a Mauritius company. And it came into a Lalit Modi company, apparently, and I will use the word alleged until it's established, of money laundering. Now, money laundering money from Mauritius, which is a traditional route employed by many people with dubious funds, has landed in her company, then I think not only has Vasundhara Raje violated the Prevention of Corruption Act Section 13, but she'll be also liable to be guilty of Prevention of Money Laundering Act, because then this is a conduit.
Okay, those are very, very strong charges. I want Nalin Kohli to come in over here. Not just the Prevention of Corruption Act the Congress party alleges, but also money laundering is what the Congress party says Vasundhara Raje is guilty of. How do you respond to that?
Well, first of all, Mr. Jha's rather liberal interpretation of the laws and trying to make it stick with no case makes actually a humorous comment, not a serious comment. I don't think I would like to respond to it and take the debate to a new low. Second is, Mr. Jha should not call me as Mr. Modi's legal defense, directly or indirectly. I take strong offense to it. I'm not, and I don't intend to be either. Number three, that Mr. Jha has now spoken about the need for public figures to disclose everything of their private lives, including their own commercial interests, then perhaps he would like to entitle the country. Where is Mr. Rahul Gandhi again?
Mr. Kohli, she was leader of the opposition
party.
party.
In which country? So therefore, let's get this clear. People are entitled to their personal space. It can't be one way where we don't know what is Mr. Rahul Gandhi's source of income. Where has he done his education from? What have been his grades?
No, but let's not talk about Rahul Gandhi just yet.
It's ridiculous to drag Mr. Rahul Gandhi.
Let's speak about Vasundhara's funds.
Now, if you don't have an argument, Nalin, why don't you just keep quiet and enjoy the highway drive? But don't utter atrocious rubbish.
If there is anything incorrect in law, the action will happen against anyone. It doesn't matter who that individual is, from which party. But they can't be sitting there and passing judgment.
So when are you announcing the investigation?
No, but Nalin, let me ask you a
So when are you announcing the investigation?
Just keeping aside Vasundhara Raje's alleged direct financial association.
This is not a banana republic that, where Mrs. Gandhi could have chosen to, appoint a prime minister.
So please, no, you have reduced it to one.
Let there be
No, you have reduced it to one.
Let there be substance on anyone. They are not going to be based on the Congress party's desperation to make itself politically relevant.
Okay, look, Nalin, let's, rather than the BJP and the Congress taking pot shots at one another, which is bound to happen sooner than later, let me ask you a specific question. If you look, but Nalin, one moment.
It's not pot shots.
No, okay, look, fair enough. Nalin, let me ask you a specific question. Keeping aside Vasundhara Raje's allegations which have now emerged in terms of that affidavit, if you actually look at the value of the Dholpur Palace, it was 300 crores. This is what has actually been stated by the BJP, and therefore they say, look at the circle rate of the land where Dushyant Singh's property exists. This is the value of the land. Therefore, that's one of the reasons where there is no impropriety. There's nothing financially wrong. However, documents indicate that in Dushyant's IT returns of 2012-2013, the value of Dholpur Palace was just 16 crore rupees. So there are question marks on the actual value of the property itself. Part of the overall argument that this entire property has been grossly inflated in terms of its value.
First, I think, Vishnu, let's get the fundamentals clear. Neither you as a channel nor me as a political party spokesperson are valuers of how properties should be valued and what is their value. That's not what we are here for. Number two is, properties are bought. Somebody may have it in their books, bought 25 years ago. It may have been bought at 10 lakhs. Today it may be worth 100 crores. So it just continued in the books. Now these are merits that the concerned authorities look at. Those who will do it, if you can't convert every question into a suspicion and an allegation, that way a journalist meeting a politician over a cup of tea, and if the politician pays it, is it a price? These are not ways to look at it. There has to be some substance.
No, but Nalin, Dushyant Singh and his wife bought 10,000 shares at Niyant at 10 rupees each. The 2009 value of this was 9.5 lakh rupees. Lalit Modi's firm bought 415 shares for 4.04 crore rupees. It just seems that there is some sort of massive inflation in the values of these this property. If you follow the
stock market, there are many investors as angel investors who get a valuation so high over their initial investment.
Vishnu, can I come
so would that mean that they were politically putting funds in there? Come on.
Okay.
If there is anything incorrect, there is a mechanism in the country that works, that law and order. It may have been put in, a sort of abeyance during the emergency, but barring that one black period under the Congress, law and order works in this country.
Okay, Sanjay, you had a point to make. Sanjay Jha had a point to make. Go ahead.
Sanjay, yes. He's misleading. Yeah. Vishnu, I think he's misleading. I think Nalin Kohli is misleading the viewers of NDTV. The truth is that your share price, listed company or unlisted company, only gets a higher appreciation for a new investment, provided you're able to demonstrate either established revenue or you are able to convince the new investor that you have a projected revenue that is very strong and reliable. We would like to know, where is the profit and loss statement of this company? What has this company done to establish this kind of valuation? If it does not exist, and I believe it does not exist, then purely on a balance sheet where you can take the book value is what people consider, but here I can see there's a market value has been created. If they cannot establish that, which I believe they can't, then it is a clear case of money coming in without any substantive reasoning, which alludes to the fact that it is some kind of a quid pro quo.
Nalin, another allegation as part of this quid pro quo is that Vasundhara Raje signed an MOU with the hospital which treated Lalit Modi's wife. The MOU was signed to establish a center of excellence in Jaipur for cancer care. The terms of the contract stated that the Rajasthan government will provide land, construct the building, pay all the expenses. Does it not seem strange that just a few weeks after Lalit Modi's wife was treated in Portugal in this particular facility, that there would be an MOU which is signed at the behest allegedly of the Chief Minister to create this facility in Jaipur. This is an allegation of a quid pro quo.
I'm unable to understand the quid pro quo. So if a hospital of international repute is being brought into the country and an alternative view could be there, does that mean a quid pro quo? I mean, there has to be some standard of raising the question. Unfortunately, the Congress doesn't have it. So Mrs. Sonia Gandhi went to Sloan Kettering, not to treat a common cold, I presume. So therefore, if she wanted to bring Sloan Kettering to India,
Vishnu, I will answer that one.
I think there has to be a limit to what the Congress party would like to drop.
Okay, Sanjay disagrees with you. Go ahead. Yes, Sanjay.
Yeah, Vishnu, let me tell you that when you are parting with public assets, if you're giving state property to a venture, even if it's a hospital, then let me remind Mr. Nalin Kohli, wherever he goes for his, regular treatment to whichever doctor or hospital, there are multiple options available to people. And a state cannot just give a unilateral offer to one entity. There are many cancer specialist hospitals in the world. And, was it done in a transparent manner? Were the terms truly, giving the value to the people in the state who would be benefiting from the hospital? These are larger questions. Since this is a government that keeps talking about transparency in auctions, was there a fair competitive bids or tenders invited? If you don't answer these questions, then I think it's very obvious to the naked eye. You don't have to be a genius to know that Lalit Modi goes to a particular hospital. That hospital soon gets a massive investment opportunity in Jaipur. And Vasundhara Raje anyway has been publicly confessing that kindly give him all the legal support to get immigration, but keep it hidden from the government of India. So how can a chief minister who's worked such shrouded in secrecy be trusted to have taken such a major decision as to give a hospital from abroad and access to an Indian market with Indian land and other facilities?
Nalin,
how can you believe that? Nobody is going to believe it.
Nalin, go ahead. Yes.
During the course of this program has proved that he is capable of valuation, speaking on the stock market and investments, and now speaking on how hospitals should come and go out of the country. He should have offered these services.
Stop being petty and personal. Answer the question, Mr. Kohli.
Mr. Jha, I don't need any standards from you. So please refrain from asking me to stick to your standards.
Neither do I need from you, my dear friend.
Nalin, go ahead and answer. Sanjay, 1 minute. Nalin, please go ahead. Yes.
Let's be fair.
Yes, as I said, getting to the point, every one of those things are allegations born out of some desperation. If they have a case in substance, there is the courts of law. There's a lot of things. They are building a case on hype and on allegations. We are busy working. We are not going to allow our work to suffer just because the Congress party needs an explanation a day and a resignation a day.
Nalin, tell me something. Why does the BJP believe that Priyanka Vadra, being in the United Kingdom and happening to meet Lalit Modi or Robert Vadra happening to meet Lalit Modi is suspicious? The Congress party says that, look, they just happen to meet, it's no big deal, anybody can meet anybody in a restaurant.
Well, that's a nice world fast by the Congress party. Till yesterday, there were questions being asked on anybody who met Mr. Lalit Modi. And today, just because it involves the first family of the Congress party, then it is, meeting is just a normal thing. So let them decide their standards and stick to it. They can't change it like a chameleon on a day-to-day basis.
No, but do you have any specific allegations? Are you suggesting some sort of a link?
The allegations come from the root of what the Congress party is raising. They are raising allegations based on the people knowing Mr. Lalit Modi.
Vishnu,
so the same allegations will apply to them. So if they have any substance to prove...
I'm going to make an allegation, Vishnu.
Yes, Sanjay, yes.
Vishnu, I'm going to make an allegation on the NDTV channel today that Lalit Modi throwing these red herrings, he's a big name dropper, and we all know which side of the political fence he's on. I can assure you that Lalit Modi talking about just running into Priyanka Gandhi Vadra and her husband in London a year ago or 2 years ago is not a happenstance. He's in close cahoots with many people from the BJP, and that basically explains
everybody says that he's in close cahoots with a lot of people close to the Congress as well. This is a person who goes beyond... Look,
No, Vishnu, in the cricket establishment, I agree with you that all political parties have some stake or the other. But I can assure you in the Lalit Modi scam case, you will definitely find the role of one political party being predominant, if not the wholesale 100% itself.
Okay, Asif Bhamla, General Secretary of the NCP, the name of Sharad Pawar and Praful Patel has come up repeatedly. The allegation is that Mr. Pawar advised Lalit Modi not to come back to India, that if he had to come back to India, he would be arrested. It is also said that apparently Mr. Pawar actually said, but you still had better come back to face the legal process over here. To what extent did Mr. Pawar advise Lalit Modi?
I am happy that in the crossover between the BJP and the Congress, you realize that, and you realize that even I am there in the panel. So, having said that, I am a little amazed that the entire country is witnessing a Lalit Kala Academy for the past 15 days. And it's very surprising because before, in my previous interview, we had GVL
Narasimha Rao, yes.
Who I questioned to, okay, all this has been going on nearly a fortnight, and it's an open establishment wherein, as per to the Indian Penal Code and the Prevention of Corruption Act and on the Passport Act for backing a fugitive, there are so many instances that have come out in open per se. But from the BJP, if you see right from the top to the hierarchy, everyone is talking in favor. We thought when the BJP came to power that this Prime Minister would take a high moral ground, he would be more receptive and he would be more reciprocal. But having seen the way things are moving in, there has been and BJP from the past 15 days, if you see even in Maharashtra with the Pankaja Munde Anganwadi issue, it's been atrocious. It's been issue after issue after issue that has been happening, and here also the CM is saying that it's all fine. With Vinod Tawde issue, the Chief Minister says it's all fine. So I am not able to understand that they've been blaming the BJP, they've been blaming the Congress. We understand it was the wrong on part of the Congress and UPA, which is why we were out of the power now. But now you are in power.
But sir, when there are statements that when Lalit Modi said, I had conversations with Praful Patel and Sharad Pawar, both Praful and Pawar told me if I return to India, I will immediately be arrested and detained. Does this not indicate a level of closeness in conversations between a person who some say is a fugitive, he's certainly wanted by the ED in India, right, and leaders of your party?
Let me come back to you on this. A flimsical person like a Lalit Modi who bumps into any high-end leader would like to be photographed in a restaurant, would keep a know and a track of all the important people visiting the United Kingdom, and if someone, and if a person of that stature comes in, and if he's and if Honorable Sharad Pawar ji is dining at a restaurant, and if he happens to bump in, after all, Mr. Pawar has been a legacy of cricket. They have been in the country. They have since Pawar Sahab was the BCCI chairman, the president. So that having exchanged pleasantries, you can't reach to a conclusion.
So no clear answers
here
over
you
there.
Have a clear case.
But sir, you're absolutely saying that neither Mr. Praful Patel nor Mr. Sharad Pawar deposed in favor in any way in writing.
Let me complete, please. Here you have a clear-cut case of a Vasundhara Raje openly signing on behalf of a fugitive. And there is what and where we do not question. And for some person who has never been accused, a stature, a leader of that of Sharad Pawar, who happened to meet someone, who happened to come across someone in a restaurant, and you jump to conclusion, I think this is a diversion of focus by the BJP from their agenda, and it's very surprising that this PM who had called the UPA Prime Minister Manmohan Singh as a Manmohan Singh is now a Manmohan.
All right, so this cannot be a tirade just from one side. I'd like to thank you very much for sharing that view.